Hey there berries, welcome to another bot lane analysis, this time of G2 versus Fnatic. This is game number 1 of the grand final. So winner of this game wins the entirety of the LEC, and then that will give them a good seed going into Worlds. I don't know the result of this, I don't know how many games there are, so I'm looking forward to watching this series and trying to figure out who has the edge after game 1 and maybe predict who's probably going to win the series. But yeah, we've already seen Fnatic. I covered the best of 5 series between Mad and Fnatic, which was Saturday's games on the loser bracket finals. And Fnatic were solid. They were consistent. I don't think there was anything super exceptional from their gameplay from what I saw. I think a lot of it was just Mad making their own individual mistakes. Also, Fnatic players made their own individual mistakes, but I feel like Mad in particular, particularly Hillsong, was one to look at too, and the bot lane in general. I felt like Mad's bot lane made a lot of individual mistakes, which really ultimately cost them the series, because that series went, went in Fnatic's favor, as you know. So Fnatic went 3-2 in that series. So I'm expecting, honestly, my predictions going into it, I would expect probably G2 to win. But maybe Fnatic can take it up a notch after the series after Mad. But as I said, I don't think there was anything exceptional coming from Fnatic. So I don't even know the draft going into this game. There's a little, was it a Baron plushie being thrown around? So I'm assuming we're about to get into game very shortly. I'm using all the VODs from the LOL esports website. So it kind of keeps it nice and hidden, so you don't know how many games there are and stuff. So that's pretty nice of them. So in these kind of series, we are keeping an eye on the bot lane for the majority of the time, but there will obviously be things around the map that are going to influence what bot lane ends up doing in this game. So I'll try and cover as much stuff as possible. It looks like there's a Rel there. Did I see a Rakan maybe on one side? Swooping into, I see a Syndra, I see a Maokai. That's a cool graphic, isn't it? That's really cool. I like that a lot. That's some fancy stuff going on there. So yeah, we have Aphelios and Alistair on the side of Fnatic, and on G2 on blue side we have Kaiser Rakan, and there is a Rel jungle. So going up into the actual 2v2 matchup here, I would probably put it slightly in favor in terms of the in the lane. In the 2v2, I think Aphelios has the slight advantage here until maybe 6. 6 is when it starts getting interesting, but Aphelios has the range over the Kaiser, so he should be able to poke Kaiser relatively safely and easily, to be honest. Alistair has a decent amount of gauge also to be able to clap onto the Kaiser, and that cleanse isn't going to help out a huge amount. It's going to be able to take off the ignite from Alistair, but the cleanse isn't going to be super duper helpful in the actual 2v2 matchup itself. So I'm looking at Fnatic in terms of getting a lead in the actual 2v2, trying to get some sort of advantage, maybe making sure that they don't get invaded in their bot side jungle, all those kind of things. So we're going to, what's the Alistair costume guy in the bottom left? So yeah, I'm expecting that the Aphelios here should be able to outpoke. And it is looking like Fnatic is invading bot side too, identifying that they should have 2v2 prior in the bot lane. So yeah, some little bits of cheeky poke here coming through. Not only can Aphelios poke with the ranged weapon that he has, although they haven't got level 2 first. I'm not sure entirely why that is. Maybe they're just trying to bait, maybe, in order for Maokai to gank the lane, so not pushing it back too hard. I feel like Fnatic probably should have had level 2 prior there though, but Maokai is going to be very surprising. This is going to catch G2 off guard completely. They're waiting for them to hit level 2 first. I think they can maybe sense something might be up. Yeah, they're going to be using summoners, so there's no way that this. Oh, the guy dodges the Maokai Q. Is still going to go down. No. I tell you what, I was playing a lot of solo queue on Alistair this weekend to practice it after seeing all the pro play, and Alistair dying in lane has definitely been my main weakness, and I can't, they butchered that so hard. That was such a good Kaiser dodge away from the Maokai Q to ignore that knockout. If the Kaiser takes that damage there, she dies. The cleanse used to get out of the twisted advance. The Alistair just went too far, and yeah, Yeah, that's devastating. Like, at least the one benefit of the one good side is that Rakan got the kill. Rakan got first blood, but this is an absolute disaster. I think, I don't know, just Maokai just instantly twisted advance there rather than just try to do it with the Q. Then that Q damage is basically guaranteed. I don't know. Fnatic are all over the place now. Mid lane now dying. Also, Syndra's now used Flash, so that's going to be opening up to potentially a gank for Rakan. There's nothing here for Alistar to do. He's kind of floating around the mid lane in order to potentially like counter gank or gank something, but there's nothing for him to actually do. So he's now wasting his time in the mid lane. He has to start making his way down to bot side. Yeah, I mean, it was just a devastating gank. There was just an individual outplay from the Kaiser. Honestly, the Kaiser's Giga outplayed that. Why are we looking at the dock in the river? Wait, what? Huh? What? What just happened there? That ward didn't spot out the Ral at all or something? What was that? That was insane. Huh? That ward? Apparently that's a bad ward. Don't ward there, kids. That's a terrible ward. Apparently it doesn't even spot people in the river. What the hell? Okay. That's a bit scuffed. Full bot side control here now for G2. If Rakan tries to go in with the W, Alistar can headbutt away. Looks like they're actually going to try and tower dive this. This is pretty risky. We got Root on Aphelios and you still got the Alistar combo. Yeah, you can see the Rel backing away. I think that would be insanity to dive that, honestly. Like, the Aphelios could just root someone under the turret and then lock up with the pulverize and stuff. Someone would die from G2 under the turret. I don't think they would be able to get away from that. Especially when no one on bot lane or jungle from G2 actually has flash. And the jungler in G2 making blue buff reset. That's kind of an oof. Lucky they didn't get punished from that. But yeah, that blue still's pretty big. Because really, Fnatic should be having priority here with the Aphelios of Alistar, but that death is gonna make them question everything, I think. We'll see. I think, yeah, it's just gonna be really difficult. I think Aphelios should probably still be looking for priority here. They know about the Maokai because of the control in the river. Is the river's clean now? What is Rakan doing? That was really close, actually. But that could have been a bait for Rel to come down. But that route there from Aphelios nearly making it so Maokai could go into Twisted Advance range. And then that would have been pretty spicy. I'm not sure why Rakan pathed up like that, to be honest. In the bot side, yeah, I don't know. As I said, it should really be like a Fnatic advantage here. Rakan landing a double W. Alice is going to go down too far. Yeah, that's it already. And now the AD carry is going to go down too. Aphelios has the correct weapons. He has the red and white weapons, but not going to be anywhere near enough damage to actually be able to kill the Kaiser. She can just kite away, and then the other two can finish off. I think they're trying to let Kaiser have the kill. What? A bunch of idiots. Honestly, G2, like, okay, I get they want to have Kaiser to have the kill to let her carry on snowballing a bit, but that was devastating. Just let Rel have the kill at that point, and then Kaiser can just push in the wave, and that should never happen. I mean, G2 still come up on top in terms of a 2 kills for 1, but that should never happen. That's the classic situation of the AD carry, like, raging in solo queue if they don't get the kill, but, like, just let Rel have it at this point, surely. That's so dangerous. And they got Engage coming into mid lane. Alistar managed to rope both supports roaming to mid lane. But the Syndra has no mana. Syndra looks like probably will go down here. Ugh. Yeah, I'm not sure why necessarily Alistar is mid. Maybe trying to help look into pushing the wave so that the Syndra can recall. But honestly, Syndra having no mana anyway, I think you just have to let it go, right? You can't help pushing a wave, especially when Syndra's got no mana, especially in this kind of quality of a game. Rakan gets engaged on, but he can just jump away with his W if he wants to. But it looks like they want to kind of cancel engage onto the Alistar. Double knock up again. Alistar's just not headbutting the Rakan away. He's failed that every single time. He's just waiting for the Rakan to go in and then pulverize. But honestly, he should just headbutt the Rakan away. Stops the W instantly. There's no reason to not. I don't understand why he's just waiting for the Rakan to get the W off and then pulverize. Maybe Alice doesn't know you can do that. I don't know. That seems... I don't know. I think Alice just is messing up this matchup quite badly in terms of dealing with the Rakan. Like the Alistair doesn't know how to manage the Rakan, and that's where everything's kind of falling apart now. Obviously, he died under the turret in the gank, the Alistair, but then yeah, he's just not managing the engages from Rakan that nicely at all. Alistair's now looking to run to mid to try and salvage something, I think. He's actually decided to go back into bot. Why is Rakan though? Rakan, I think, is posturing to dive Aphelios, forcing Alistair to having to come back into bot side. Looks like Azir is going to be able to try and get away. Oh my god. And then Syndra's probably going to die from that. How many times has that happened now, though? That Fnatic has ganked, and then it's just backfired in their face. Rakan, once again, getting his W off. Like, Alistair needs to be there to headbutt, but looks like they're now trying to collapse now onto the Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa actually will go down here, and now Rakan should fall too. The first good thing that we've seen from the Fnatic bot lane is much needed because they were losing out quite badly there. And that's the kind of 2v2 kind of thing, as I was saying, that's why the Aphelios, if Alistair should be better here. I would still argue you could probably still W the Rakan away. You could probably, if you position properly, you can W the Rakan like towards your own turret, make it difficult for him to eat his AD carry, and then just flash pulverize onto the Kai'Sa if you have to. But the cleanse here isn't super beneficial for the Kai'Sa. It's just the ignite, so it's kind of, she's kind of got like a wasted summoner really. It's like Fnatic are winning top lane here too. G2 kind of falling apart. They're still contesting the Herald here, but they have all rivers set up. I think that's going to be the little reward there for losing the top laner is getting the Herald. I think it's maybe kind of worth it. It's not too bad for G2 at this point, as long as they can get a few turret blades. Looks like G2's bot lane has taken over top lane though, because they did rotate up there for the Herald, but should leave an opening here for Fnatic to take Dragon though. If G2's bot lane are top, then, you know, should be in relatively easy Dragon, but there's no priority coming here. I think Maokai's trying to make sure he gets his red buff before he goes down for the Dragon. I don't know. I think if Fnatic are quicker, I think they just rotate down to bot side, get the Dragon, then looking to tower dive Cassante in the bot lane. They must know that they're going to lose this turret because the Herald is up here too. Maokai ulti coming across. Renekton staying alive for forever, it feels like. Rakan does go down to Syndra ulti. Maokai is still pressing forward, but I think G2 are going to be able to disengage from that. It seems like whoever ganks whoever lane, the team that ganks loses. Really, really weird game. Aphelios has the correct weapons. He has red and white weapons. Trying to go against the Cassante. You never really want to have your AD carry 1v1 against the top lane at this point in the game, but Cassante wins the matchup. Yeah, as I just said, like, it's very rare for an AD carry to beat a top laner at this point in the game just because of the solo XP that top laner has. I will say the Cassante was 0-1, and Aphelios probably had more gold, but the Cassante still had that level advantage. Also, he has like a decent chunk of armor there too in his items. His base armor is also probably a little bit higher too. So Aphelios kind of maybe not knowing the 1v1 matchup as much. I mean, who does really? It's Cassante at the end of the day. There is still this Dragon to go for. No one's actually gone for this Dragon. Looks like that will be the area contestation now. Syndra's going to be quite late to this. Azir doesn't have teleport on top. And this is actually dying really, really, really quickly. The first two Dragons in the game do die pretty fast. So Rel looks like she's going for a steal. Rel doesn't get it. Maokai's decided to go full on here. Rel has already gone down to about half HP, but I don't think they can get any follow-up from that. Renekton's popped his ulti. They want to kind of pursue this, but yeah, no, that's not happening. Positive movement there from Fnatic, able to pick up the Dragon. So bot lanes have now switched over into mid lane now. Laning phase is officially over. Even though there's plates still up, both teams have kind of said, look, Everyone's moving around the map too much. We need to stabilize the map. Let's put both bot lanes in mid. Makes it more difficult to go too crazy on the map. They're Herald for another 2.5 minutes. Yeah, I think the game will probably try and stabilize a little bit unless there's something crazy that happens in the 1v1s in the side lanes. So Cassante's going for the Renekton here. Meanwhile, G2 are pushing in mid. There's 3 people around mid lane right now. This Phileos might go down. G2 winning that 1v1 matchup. Looks like Fnatic, oh dear, dear. The Fnatic are losing both mid and bot lane right now. I'm not sure in the pathing of Alistair though during that. He's like in KFC camp right now, but I almost feel like, well, yeah, he's pathing up towards top. He wouldn't have been there in time anyway, but a little bit of fancy footwork there from the Ophidios, but not enough vision or enough support in order to actually stay in that lane by himself. Needed a jungler or needed the Maokai or the Alistair to be closer, honestly, to be safer then. But yeah, the Renekton trying to 1v1 the Cassante isn't working out, and he's probably going to stop doing that. Cassante is coming out on top, and that's going to be quite scary for the rest of the game. He's going to be able to split push quite nicely. Also, this is slowly building up a lead here too. Rel's got a cheeky position here. And are Fnatic aware of it? I mean, Alice is kind of floating behind. There are still, it's going to be a 3v2 potentially. There's still a turret up there though for Fnatic. Syndra being quite clever there. She actually brought the cannon minion back behind her turret to kind of slow her own wave coming in. See how much safer she is here rather than if the wave was in the middle of the lane. A little bit of clever minion management then. So we've got both AD carries going back into the mid lane. Both supports looking to try and roam. Looks like Rakan's trying to play around the bot side of the map. Herald is up in 30 seconds though. So I don't know about Rakan going bot side, to be honest. I think Alistair's got the better pathing here just purely because of the Herald coming up soon. Rakan won't be there for that. So they might be trying to trade bot for the Herald. But Alice is already in the area. He's going to be sending up wards here. Fnatic also pressuring this blue buff, and Rakan isn't in the area right now. Rakan is now coming into the mid lane, but it's too late. As I said, I think Rakan should have been pathing up towards Herald. Herald spawning like now. Big play here onto the Ophidios though. Rakan, Ophidios does have flash. He does with the ulti. Fnatic are trying to get back into mid here, but this mid tier 1 turret's lost. A good play from Rakan. And a good engage here from Rakan too. The Maokai ulti going through, kind of staggering G2 though. Rakan going low. Ophidios is in the backline, kind of safe right now, but he has no real way of getting in. Looks like someone's trying to find an engage. Twisted Advance goes through, brings Maokai all the way to the backline. Rakan going super low. Sapling in that brush catches out Rakan. Rakan stays alive. Renekton trying to pressure something forward. Health bars are getting low on this. That Renekton just got absolutely shredded, and Cassante's right in the middle, and he is being an absolute beast right now. Syndra landing a couple of stuns there though with the bulls. Ophidios is down though for Fnatic. How much damage does Fnatic have left here? Not much, since Syndra has no ulti. Maokai's going down, and it looks like they're gonna get aced here. Yeah, I mean, I don't see Syndra necessarily being able to get out of this one. Might just be a slow death here. Syndra is slowly running out of mana. Azir's kind of scared of catching a Syndra Q. Rel slowly chipping away here. She might actually better blast going away. Wow, okay. It's not an ace, but it's not a good fight for Fnatic though. Heiser did die at the end towards of that fight, but so many health bars and G2 went low again, and then they were able to just switch it around just because of the Cassante. Cassante was 4 HP, I think, and resources, and able just to turn it. They all kind of started with this Rakan kind of being really far overextended, but just not enough damage here for Fnatic to actually finish off the Rakan. And then this Twisted Advance follows the Rakan, and it goes super far. Don't forget also Fnatic here have 1 dragon, so this could put Fnatic on 2 drakes. The first 2 drakes are really, really quick to kill. It's like Someone's getting locked up that back. That's Rel. That's getting locked up. There's so much stuff just being whacked down everywhere here. Looks like Syndra's in trouble. She's at the back on like 50% HP. Is stuck at stasis in the middle there too. Syndra finishes that off. Still got Cassante right in the middle though, just bashing on people's heads, and he's now on the Syndra, and Syndra is going to fall down. Pulverize comes through. Kaiser falls down to that, and it's now like a 3v1 versus this Cassante, and I don't think they can deal with it. This Cassante is just a massive problem. They have no real answer for this right now. Alistair's trying to stay in range for maybe like a headbutt Pulverize, but this Cassante is just too much. They can't deal with it. Too many sloppy deaths. He's down 7-1. Honestly, if it wasn't maybe for a couple of sloppy deaths against the Cassante in the laning phase, I wonder if Cassante would be such a beast right now and how much Fnatic would actually be winning some of these fights. The positive though for Fnatic, they did get this second dragon though. So they do have a 2 Drake lead, but it is a late two dragons though. So Rel tries to engage here, and Syndra manages to disengage it, and then Rakan gets a 3-man charm knockup. That is such a good flank knockup there. That causes Fnatic to largely panic there though. I think soon here, Alistair catches a Pulverize onto the Kaiser, and that's super nice too. Both supports doing their jobs here really, really nicely. So if you look on the left here, Alistair walks in with 10% HP, lands the Pulverize on Kaiser, but here they got nothing else left now for this Cassante. Just, yeah, absolutely nothing left, unfortunately. You can see that the Alistair's trying to like hang back there for a headbutt Pulverize. He could have walked away there with his life and stayed alive, but I think he wanted to try and see if he could lock up the Cassante and maybe kill him off of that. But if they do manage to kill the Cassante, I think the bounty is probably around about 1,000 gold in total. Yeah, it is. So if they can somehow kill Cassante, say Aphelios, Syndra, get the kill onto the Cassante, that's going to be absolutely massive for those for the Fnatic. That will get them back into the game. Cassante just doesn't care anymore now. He's just gone straight in. Alice has already popped his ulti. I think he also ignited Cassante there too, as in pure panic. So yeah, this Cassante is all about this Cassante. How are they going to deal with this Cassante? Like, Syndra's already picking up magic resistance in order to get through him. Aphelios needs armor penetration. I think he's going for that now. I think he's going for his Dominiques now, because he's got the 2 longswords and the crit cloak. There's nothing like the Alistair can't really do a huge amount against to prevent the Cassante. I mean, he can do the headbutt Pulverize, but I think he still needs to prioritize on crowd controlling the Kaiser or the Azir, because Cassante not only is just being a frontline tank, but he's also doing a crap ton of damage. But if you can try and that then allows Kaiser and Azir to kind of do whatever they like. So you still need to kind of control the Kaiser, because if they focus too much on the Cassante, on the small chance they actually manage to kill him, they'll have nothing left for the Kaiser or the Azir, and they kind of need to guarantee that the backline is just dead. So they kind of have to ignore Cassante as best as they can and kill the Azir, the Kaiser as quickly as possible, and then try and hope they have enough left for the Cassante. Kind of like how that river fight went. In terms of items here, we still haven't had a mythic here on the Alistair. Rakan has his locket. Alistair's still really struggling to even get anything here. He's still got 1 stack of minion dematerializer too, which is kind of weird. He's really far behind actually in his gold item. Like, Rakan's already finished his relic shield quest, whereas Alistair's still on it at 21 minutes. With a minion dematerializer, it should make it easier in theory to actually get kind of minion gold. So both teams kind of warding and setting up around the Baron. Herald being popped for Bop's side to basically make it really difficult for Fnatic to both defend the Herald push and defend Baron. So really forcing Fnatic's hand here that they're definitely going to lose a tier 1 bot turret, but how much are they going to lose Baron here too? It's going down really fast. Maokai ulti goes through. Teleport comes through way too late. Fnatic realizes Baron going down way too slow. Reacting to it way too slowly. It's big Syndra stun hits 2, but massive knock up, whatever that was from Cassante. He did a lot there. Cassante's on the complete opposite side of the map now, but Fnatic are just dropping like flies. Kaiser does go down at the very end there, which will slow in the push in a little bit, but that Cassante engage there was just devastating. Honestly, I don't see Fnatic winning this game. Just Cassante is just way too big of an issue. Then Cassante teleports down to bot side. Did he teleport down there? And then just using this Herald to push in with the Baron buff. That's down to tier 2. Herald will hit tier 3. They can get inhib here. Well, yeah, they could get tier 3 turret here if they wanted to. I don't know why they're not pushing in with this, actually. You could totally make an argument here that Cassante could have got tier 3 bot. Oh, he got it anyway? Okay. He did the math. Yeah, they're just way too slow. Look how fast this Baron's going down, especially with the Kaiser. Maokai ulti is pretty strong, but it's just too slow. Like, Syndra's not in position here for a really long time in order to stun. The stun, when it does come through for Syndra, is decent, but then look at the counter engage here from the Cassante. And there's the Rel. Actually, it's the Rel that did the massive ulti engage. She got like 3 or 4 people there. Absolutely massive. The only thing that you can really do about that is have a knockback from Syndra or the knockback from Alistar, and Syndra had already used that to stun. So yeah, I think this one just goes for G2, honestly. I don't see how Fnatic can get... They have no answer for this Cassante. He's just way too far ahead, and yeah, there's no way that Fnatic can play for Dragon win con. Like, yeah, these inhibs are going down. Might be a final fight here, honestly. Like, Alistar needs to kind of maybe be the first one to go in. Maybe he needs to flank somehow and then look to engage onto the Kaiser or the Azir, but it's just going to be an extremely difficult job. Maybe like that. I think you probably have to still do like a Maokai ulti engage setup, and then it's just then whoever's rooted then try and get Alistar. Maybe you just play disengage. Maybe Alistar just has to play disengage in terms of like stopping Rel from getting a big combo off again might be more important than Alistar looking for some crowd control onto the Kaiser, because then at least that makes Rel redundant. The only way she can go in properly then would be like with flash ulti, but yeah. G2 taking it a little bit slow now. They got the 2 inhibs. They just need to kind of wander up to top side and start looking to pressure that. They've already taken the dragon. There's no neutral objective for a long time. There's still Baron buffs enabled on a couple of G2, but they will fall off. Yeah, they just fell off now. This is it. Took a lot of damage though. That's some good trading there for Syndra. That's gonna make the next push-in stage here a little bit more difficult. Azir does have teleport, but him already going down to 60% HP is gonna make things a little bit more difficult. Because I think he's trying to pressure the side lane, and then it will drag 1 or 2 people away from Fnatic, and then they can then look, GT can then take the tier 3 top. But Aziz's now just teleporting up to top side now. They just want to do a 5-man push here, which makes sense. Syndra's going to be late to rotate over to this. Maokai also going across. It's going to lock up just the Cassante. He blocked it for everyone. Wasn't the best of Maokai angles, honestly, in order to be able to get multiple people rooted up. Kind of needed to be a bit more diagonal left. Renekton's already popped his ultimate here, and they've already used Maokai ulti. And I don't believe, yeah, so G2 haven't used any of the ultis yet. So this is going to be pretty disastrous. Cassante going down to 50% HP. 3-man, 2-man knock up there from the Alistar. Cassante's actually going really, really low. If they can actually kill him here, they don't. If they can kill him, it's 1,000 gold. But I don't know. At this stage of the game, is that going to make any difference? Probably not. Aphelios now farming some of the ways up. I mean, the super minions will give Fnatic a little bit of gold and XP catch up, but the stress of having to deal with 2 inhibs down is pretty bad. And Rakan is locked up here. He goes down to... he can't take part in the fight now. He can't engage, really. Kaiser goes down. That's a really good Syndra ulti over onto the Kaiser. There's an Azir turret at the tier 2 here. Knockback goes down and stuns 3 people. Cassante has ulted the Syndra though. And it does look like in the end Fnatic would fall, but that looked pretty good. The Syndra played that quite nicely. Lots of stuns, lots of damage. She was definitely the MVP there. I'm quite surprised that Aphelios didn't buy Lord Dominic's like second item. I think Azir showing off there that he still had ulti. It wasn't a problem. Looks scarier than what it was. But yeah, the fact that Maokai and Renekton had already used the ultis already made that fight a lot more difficult. But it was impressive that they were able to get the couple of kills with the Syndra already. And That's some interesting outfit. So G2 take game 1. I think there was some positives there though from Fnatic. But at the end of the day, if they can make their ganks cleaner, then I think they probably would have been ahead this game. They kind of messed up. Renekton got cocky against the Cassante 1v1 and lost it. You had the failed ganks early in the bot lane where Asta died to turret, and I think there was that. Then also Syndra died mid or something. I don't know. It ended up being quite bad actually for Fnatic quite early on, but Fnatic was still able to secure 2 dragons and still have some map control, so they weren't completely out of it. It's still entirely possible for them to wrap up the series. I think they're going to be relying on G2 making a few more mistakes though. I think individually you could kind of see generally across the map they were kind of getting outplayed. Like G2's top seems stronger. I think Syndra struggled in lane, but she's not an early game champion, so she did definitely showcase some stuff off later on as the game went on. Fnatic's bot lane versus G2's bot lane. I mean, there was that 2v2 where Fnatic did win. I'd always had said that Fnatic had a better 2v2 than him. So I don't know if it was the right call in order for them to not get level 2 priority. I still feel like Alistair could have just taken headbutt level 1 and then knocked away any Rakan engage, and then I think Fnatic could have had level 2 advantage more, or kept it more like the wave more in the middle, and then that would have been an easier gank for Maokai because he wouldn't have had to wait for Fnatic to hit level 2 before coming in. I think that was a big issue for that play as well. So I think partially it was maybe a bait in terms of thinking that G2 was safe to push up. It was partly bait, but also the consequence of that just did mean that Alistair did take longer to hit level 2, and it just made it harder for him to actually get the engage off. And then by the time he got to engage, it was already under the turret, and then you saw what happened, then he died. So that is the consequence of having that bait, and I don't think we'll see G2 fall for that again. So that will probably be, they'll be super aware of that for next time. And yeah, we'll have to see how the next game goes off, but well played G2, just individually better than, and Cassante, well played. I will be covering the next 2, 3, 4 games in the series. So yeah, be sure to check out game 2. Link will be in the diddly-do maybe underneath. Just check the channel. See you for game number 2.